They let you out every so often.
I think we have everybody. We're good to go? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rob Yelnowski. I serve as Vice President for Finance and Operations at Juniata College, and I'd like to welcome you today to this celebration. Before I share some brief remarks, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people for making today possible. Lori Scheidler, Kathy Close, thank you very much for your efforts coordinating this event, the shuttles, food and drink, thank you. Roger and Jason Long sitting in the back, Juniata alums who read about this gift in the Juniata magazine and volunteered their time. They've been taking care of the grass and the grounds. I've worked tirelessly to make this work, so thank you very much to them. To Dan and Marcia Ritchie for their gracious offer of using their property for the parking. So some of you were able to park on their property as we shuttled you in, so our thanks to them as our new neighbors. And finally, to all of you for taking the time to be here today, for traveling many miles to join us today to honor and thank Jack and Carolyn. I had the opportunity to meet Jack and Carolyn in 2015 in February on the campus of Juniata, and I'm going to get emotional already. In that first meeting, I came to learn of their dream to have this beautiful place serve as a place of learning, a place where students, faculty, and staff can come together to learn about and appreciate all that the natural environment has to offer. In Jack's own words, I've always had an interest in getting kids outdoors and getting back to ways in which I grew up. Kids do not get the opportunity. They do not understand what the outdoors are really all about. I wanted to leave something that would carry on the ideals that Carolyn and I had about education and young people growing up in the outdoors. Since that first meeting, I've had the opportunity to get to know Jack and Carolyn Sparks, not only as donors of this amazing place, but as friends to me, my wife, and my children. Every visit to their home includes spreads of cheeses, baked goods, homemade jams, and of course the occasional glass of their homemade wine. Hours of conversation covering a wide array of topics, but we always came back to this place and their dream of an environmental center where education about and appreciation for the outdoors and all it has to offer comes first. We are here today to thank Jack and Carolyn for all they have already done and all that they will continue to do and all that this incredible gift and their dream for it will do for generations to come. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lauren Bowen, Provost at Juniata College.
Good afternoon. So as Rob said, I have the privilege and the honor and the joy to serve as the senior academic official for Juniata College, and I'm grateful to have just a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. You're here, I think, in large part because of your appreciation of two educators who have dedicated their lives and the use of this space around us to help young people learn and to grow. For me, it's a wonderful honor to be able to celebrate their legacy. I think it's an awesome and awe-inspiring responsibility for all of us to continue this legacy here with Juniata College students now and well into the future. In a few minutes, you'll hear from one of our faculty and one of our students about the ways in which this place will impact their work and enhance their learning. This place, with its acres of woods and streams, the river, the mountains, this valley, they hold such great potential for learning in ways that are visible and in ways that are so profound they are not yet visible. As we were in discussions with Jack and Carolyn about the possibility of them giving their farm to Juniata, students were already here conducting research as faculty were poking around to imagine all that was possible here. You'll hear a little bit more about that in a few minutes. If you've seen the Juniata magazine article about this place, you know that it mentions biology, chemistry, environmental science, astronomy, history, archaeology. In fact, I was talking to someone a few minutes ago who said every discipline of the college could have a voice and a place here. And indeed it's true. Literature, entrepreneurship, all of us will find ways to engage this land and its long history and its prehistory. Our students are going to have some really cool, interesting, and exciting opportunities to grapple with questions and various ways to answer them across all disciplines. say there's much that makes Juniata a distinctive and special place. I often remark that our commitment to experiential education, being able to work outside in so many different ways, and our commitment to interdisciplinarity is much of who we are. Both of these elements, the essence of Juniata, are alive and well in this space and in this place and in this gift. But for me, what really makes Juniata what it is the generosity of spirit, the sense of community, and the belief in people. The long-standing belief that education can transform, and then in believing in the potential and the capacity of all students, often before they believe in themselves, that can change their lives and they can change this world. Jack and Carolyn instinctively know that. They believe it, they've lived it their whole life, as represented by all that has transpired here. I want you to know that will be sustained as a result of this gift. We will take good care of this place, of the space, but mostly the spirit. Mere words cannot express our thanks and our gratitude. Just know that we feel it. To make this more real and concrete for you, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome Gina Lamandella, who shares the educator sensibilities of Jack and Carolyn Sparks. She's an assistant professor of biology and does many, many awesome things. Gina.
Thank you. Thank you to the Sparks family, to everyone who has organized this beautiful event, especially Rob Yelnowski for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. When I met Jack and Carolyn Sparks a little over a year ago, I could sum up how I felt after that interaction in one word: inspired. Inspired by their knowledge, their passion for education, and their abounding kindness and generosity in sharing this gift with the Juniata community. I want to take a moment to thank Jack and Carolyn for this unparalleled opportunity for Juniata. In just the past year, you have profoundly and directly impacted at least 16 of our Juniata microbiology students, and many more to come. I will share with you a brief story about the direct impact Jack and Carolyn have had. I've had the distinguished pleasure of teaching an upper-level microbiology course in the fall, and we execute a semester-long environmental microbiology research project within this course. Our project focuses on the impact of land use on water quality. My students designed a project to utilize molecular biology tools to investigate the bacterial community structure of the stream behind you. This technology enables my students to generate a snapshot or bacterial census of who's there in the stream to inform us about the health of the ecosystem and the quality of the water. The hope is that this pilot project will morph into one of the largest spatial and temporal molecular ecology projects of its kind, where we'll be able to predict and protect our water quality. So on a picturesque fall day last year, the Sparks invited my students and I to the farm to collect samples. After white-knuckling it over the few ravines and slippery slopes, we arrived nearly intact to the site. We sampled a variety of locations along the stream, and then we rushed back to the lab to analyze the samples. I remember the students staying in lab deep into the evening to process those samples. And at the end of the semester, they were teeming with excitement to present their research to the Sparks at a poster forum. It was a moment in my career that will be forever ingrained in my memory. As my students were talking about their bacterial results, the Sparks were discussing ecological succession events that they have observed in the stream, which sparked some student-derived ideas connecting the observations they were noting in their data. It was a beautiful thing. One of the lead students on this project, Kate Saby, graduating class of 2016, shared with me this quote. She says, "Working at the Sparks farm was rewarding in ways beyond just participating in scientific research. What began as a microbiology project became an interdisciplinary effort as we spoke with the Sparks and learned about the history of the property. Their kindness and expertise was invaluable in creating a complete and rich experience. I feel so lucky to have been one of the first of many students to explore the unique and tremendous potential of the farm, knowing it will be a significant part of Juniata for years to come." This quote and our class experience are going to be one of the many examples of how this gift will inspire our students to think and to work boundlessly across the disciplines, a testament to the Juniata liberal arts experience. So Jack and Carolyn, we extend our deepest gratitude for the many lifetimes of inspiration you are passing forward to us. And personally, I want to thank you for enriching my life and inspiring experiential learning and teaching opportunities at Juniata. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to introduce Ryan Bologa, class of 2017.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Like Dr. Lamandel said, my name is Ryan Bologa. I'm a social studies and secondary education POE here at Juniata. I'll be a senior in the fall. Throughout the course of the summer, I've been working on a research project under the supervision of history professors Dave Shung and Jim Tootin. I am figuring out the environmental, social, and cultural history of the farm and the land that it sits on. My end goal, what I want to accomplish, is to understand how people use the land and water on the property over the last 230 years or so. With this knowledge, I can then formulate a few ideas for Juniata on how they might use and manage the land in the future. The first task that I took on was to figure out how the pieces of the farm, as it currently sits, came together. What plots of land came together when, who owned each plot originally, and how they were obtained. I was handed just a few folders to start with a bunch of deeds and other records. Through those documents, I was able to piece together a general history of what happened, but there were still a few holes that remained. Luckily, we have a very valuable resource at our disposal in Jack and Carolyn Sparks. The first time I went to Altoona to interview them, I asked Jack if he could elaborate on what he knew about the past ownership of the land. He then proceeded to explain every plot of land that made up the farm and the succession of the owners of each plot and all the history involved. He pulled out deed after deed and showed them to me, and I took pictures. The research that he had done and the information that he knew really helped me understand the sequence of the land ownership. With the names and dates of owners, I was then able to search different resources. I could look up names in agricultural censuses, old newspapers, which provided me with information like what crops were grown when and how many cattle were on the property at any given period in time. The value of having the Sparks available for interviewing doesn't end at just land ownership. The lifetime worth of stories that they provided me in my 2 interviews so far have been priceless as well. Whether it was a story about falling into the river in the middle of winter or watching the ducklings swim around behind their parents, the information that they provided was not just entertaining to hear, but also pivotal to what I'm trying to accomplish this summer. Jack falling into the frigid water while transporting milk across the river and visions of 100 wood ducks sitting on top of the barn give me first-hand accounts of what the wildlife and livestock in the area and their value to the farm. The opportunity to work on this research project this summer is an aspect of my education that ranks pretty high in my experiences here at Juniata College. When I decided to be a social studies and secondary education POE, I never imagined that I'd be analyzing old documents and deeds and looking at old newspapers and conducting my own oral history interviews. It has also taught me to work and write in ways that I never would have thought about before. I have to create a research plan and write a little bit every day to accomplish my finished product. Not only will I never forget these experiences and the lessons that I've learned so far this summer, but they will be valuable to me in my future classroom when I assign research projects of my own to my students. The project has also taught me about a few things outside of my area of study. I have learned how to survey trees and plants on the property, as well as what different invasive species are present and where they're present on the farm. I have always been a fan of the outdoors and wildlife, but this project has taught me to look at things in a way that I never previously thought about. The alternative point of view is something that has made me a well-rounded student, which is something that Juniata promises to bring in a liberal arts education. Jack and Carolyn's gift has already provided me with some tremendous experiences, and I will be very grateful and thankful now and in the future for the opportunities that the farm has given me and will give many students in the future at Juniata College. I'm really excited to see what goes on here as well. Thank you, Jack and Carolyn.
Thank you. As you can see, this gift has already begun to have the impact that Jack and Carolyn had hoped for. Over the next several months, activity here will increase. We have plans to install a new pavilion, a remote telescope that will transmit images back to our campus, an American chestnut grove, a habitat for cerulean warblers, archaeological sites like the one you see behind me. We're doing a native plant and invasive species inventory as well, and we're looking at introducing recreational uses for mountain bikes and hiking. We're particularly excited to begin planning for a healing wood, a path that Carolyn has a particular interest in. There has been much written lately about the healing powers of a walk in the woods, and we'd like to create a space for that here. Again, with Jack and Carolyn's generosity, a fund has been started that will be used to make all of this possible. Any gifts donated to this fund will be dedicated to investments here and will be used to create these great opportunities for, as Jack said, to have something that will carry on the ideals that Jack, Carolyn, and I had about education and young people growing up in the outdoors. As we have been working together over the last 16 months to help make this dream a reality, we've come to think of Jack and Carolyn as Juniatians, as people who share the values of peace, simplicity, service, and community. It is now my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce the person who helped make all of this possible, my friend and former Juniata roommate, Jack McDad, class of 1985, to present Jack and Carolyn Sparks as candidates for an honorary degree.
I have to wonder if there was anybody else as troubled as I am that sat there and was watching the water to see if any flies were coming off and fish were right. Before I proceed any farther, I just wanted to take a minute and watch Rob's face as I go off script here. To remind those of you who have been to Notaswapi in the past and may have forgot, or those of you who are unfamiliar with Notaswapi and what Notaswapi means. At the opening of the 17th century, there were 3, possibly 4 distinct Indian peoples living in Pennsylvania. One of these groups was the Susquehannocks. Notaswapi was part of their territory. Notaswapi is located along the Raystown branch of the Juniata River, and it covers 300 plus acres of Susquehannock territory. Notaswapi comes to us from the Osage language translated. It refers to a group who became attached to a certain locality which they would never leave. The group would always remain in the area, being contented. This was the hardest part for me. The sign language of Notaswapi translated means quiet heart. No, it's not like the guy at the president that time. On the serious side, Becky and Bonnie, would you come up? You're going to be presenting here. These are my sisters who didn't want to speak, so I found a way to embarrass them. Today we honor the service and philanthropy of Jack and Carolyn Sparks, lifetime educators whose careers have affected thousands of students. The Sparks' generous contributions ensure the educational opportunities of thousands more to come. Jack's past started at the Robert P. Smith High School in Hopewell, Pennsylvania, and he served in the United States Army's 24th Infantry Division in Korea. He then attended Slippery Rock State College, where he received his Bachelor of Science degree with a dual major of physical education and biology. He then attended the Pennsylvania State University, earning a Master's of Science degree in physical education and psychology. Prior to retiring from the Altoona Area School District in 1989, where he taught biology, he held teaching positions with the Indiana Public Schools, Bedford High School, Windham High School, and was a health and physical education instructor at the Pennsylvania State University. His coaching experiences spanned from Pee Wee football to collegiate basketball, wrestling, golf, and tennis. In addition, he served on the State Civil Service Commission of Pennsylvania. He also initiated and developed the Soapbox Derby of Central Pennsylvania. It was during his tenure as the director of Logan Township Recreation Department from 1968 to 1990 that Camp Notaswapi was formed on this farm. He is a lifetime member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the National Rifle Association, and the Sons of the American Revolution. Also a longtime member of the Bedford Historical Society. Carolyn holds a Bachelor of Science degree in education from Indiana State University, or as we discussed earlier, the Indiana State Teachers College, a normal school, with advanced studies in psychology, art, and literature from the Pennsylvania State University. Her teaching career commenced in the Bedford area schools and in 1991, she retired from the Altoona Area School District after teaching 5th grade for 27 years. She has served as a committee member on the Pennsylvania State School Association and as an advisor to the Parent-Teacher Association. She received the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania House of Representatives citation for contributions to benefit a productive society and contribute to the educational process. She is a lifetime member of the Sigma Kappa sorority and the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Her volunteer service included a term as president of the Juniata Gap School Q Site Council, where she initiated and helped sponsor the first Day for the Arts and Super Science Saturday. She currently volunteers with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Make a Difference Day, the Altoona Hospital, the Home Nursing Agency Auxiliary, and has been involved with the AIDS Intervention Project. She also chaired the American Cancer Society Relay for Life Team Osmosis from 2008 to 2013. Together, Jack and Carolyn founded and organized the Paddle for a Cure, a kayak event to raise money for cancer research. They have created scholarship funds with the Community Foundation and the Pennsylvania State University Altoona campus in memory of their two sons, Scott Douglas and Todd Gardner Sparks, my friends. Their philanthropic support for Juniata has earned them recognition as Broombot Lifetime Benefactors, a designation reserved for Juniata's most generous supporters. President Troll, I am honored to present Jack and Carolyn Sparks for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
I know that as we sit here and as the sun begins to set here, that this is one of those moments that I think in the history of Juniata College we will all remember. You never know quite what this all means until you get to the moment, and I was out here once before and how beautiful it was, but to hear the background and the stories and what this place has meant to you and the family and the friends that are here today makes it that much more meaningful for those of us who are going to be tasked with carrying out the love and the passion that you've had for this land. So on behalf of all of us, thank you. And it must be a tremendous moment for the two of you to see all these friends and family out here sharing in this joy and this celebration, and maybe reinvigorating some life back into this, and hear Dr. Lamandel and Ryan talk about their experiences here. This is what's going to happen here time and time again and over again. I want you to know how grateful we are as a college community for your generosity to make this happen. And believe me, I think we understand, and we will carry the message back of the obligation that we have as stewards of this land and the love and the passion that both of you have brought to this land for years to come. So I have the best job up here today, and that is to confer this honorary degree. So Jack and Carolyn Sparks, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Juniata College and upon them by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations. So before they come up, and I think Jack's going to have a few words here, I know Rob Yelnowski was mentioned, but I have to recognize Rob here for a second. Because Rob, who knows Rob Yelnowski in the crowd here? Most of you know Rob, okay? And Rob shepherded this moment for us, and he was part development officer, part chief financial officer, part attorney, part physical plant director, part party organizer, and Rob has had numerous roles at the college, and in many ways I bet deep down this is one of his crowning achievements, quite frankly, to see this happen. And also, Rob's had numerous titles at the college, from dealing with technology and the financial resources of the college, and now he's leading our enrollment efforts. And Rob, I want you to come up here for a second so we can acknowledge one more role for you. So, little did you know that Rob Yelnowski, from this day forward, I present to him as the camp director. Wear it with pride, Rob, and congratulations and thank you for bringing us to today. Jack, Carolyn, both of you, please, the podium is yours.
Thank you. It just all sums it up just to say thank you. We're humbled and grateful that Juniata College has taken this place and made it something special that we always wanted to have. I guess those of you who know me, I'm not going to say anything profound. I think I guess what came to my mind was the Elton John song, is you never take more than you give in the journey of life. And we are so honored to be able to give this farm to Juniata, and I know they will be good stewards, and Rob will be just a super no-to-swatting camp director.
I would just like to thank everybody, and I would like to special thanks to Juniata. And I know that in the years to come, there will be a lot of students that will have the opportunity to learn a little bit about the outdoors and what it means to grow up in the isolated environment. And I'm humbled by the whole experience. Thank you very much.